Thanks for tuning in. It's clearly stated you're with Vibrating Minds. I want to piggyback on the message that I put out earlier today about paying attention to your children. So I'm doing my social media thing today, and I'm just looking at what's going on. And ironically, something popped up which goes in conjunction with what I spoke of this morning, but a little bit more of an extension. So it says, the new earth begins when we stop molding minds, and begin guiding souls back to their own remembrance. There's more to it, but I just want to read that part over again just so you hear what is being said here. The new earth begins when we stop molding minds and begin guiding souls back to their own remembrance. Children don't need conditioning. They need space to awaken what they already are. Children don't need molding. They don't need conditioning. Pay attention to what they say. If they are looking at you and they want to know what is God, what are angels, where did they come, pay attention. Because it's either they heard it in conversation around, someone brought up the subject of death, God, angels, spirituality, realm, whatever. They heard it somewhere. And if they're questioning you, honestly, I'll tell you, put down whatever it is that you're doing and be curious about their questioning. Instead of jumping or reacting or answering, can we just start by being curious with the words and the statements that our children are making? If you're walking in a store during Halloween and your child looks at an alien costume and says, "Oh, that's my cousin." I know it sounds crazy. I know. But just forget that it sounds crazy and just pay attention to that statement. Why are they saying that? What does that mean? Where are they getting their information from? So, yet again, we need to redirect and guide our children back to who they are, not who we expect them to be. Remove the tags. Of course, we have to guide them. Of course, we have to give them a sense of belonging, directives, spiritual. Of course. But just be very careful in how you are making your statements and how you're saying what you're saying. Example. Well, child, we in this household, we practice whatever it is, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Jewish, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay? Just doesn't matter. So, statement of, okay, child, in this household, this is what we practice, this is what we believe. But know and understand that there are many other beliefs out there, many other ways of seeing things and thinking. So, although this household practices that, that doesn't mean that everybody else does. So when you hear of somebody talking to you about a different religion or culture or tradition, be curious instead of being judgmental. And what do I mean by that? You meet Ishmael down the street with his beautiful family. They are practicing Muslims. They don't dress like you. They don't look like you. And they don't act like you. So what? Be curious. Hey, Ishmael. My name's Sarah. I live 3 doors down from you. Welcome to the neighborhood. Teach your children to be curious, not annoying, but be open to other ways of thinking other than your own. And by teaching them this within your household, it's going to allow them to go into their secondary environment and spread that inclusive attitude. I hope I made sense. So, again, I'm going to rephrase what was stated. It says, the new earth begins when we stop molding minds and begin guiding souls back from their own remembrance. Children don't need conditioning. They need space to awaken what they already are. As a parent, you are simply the earthly source that brought that soul to earth by giving birth to that child, or if you're a male, taking part in bringing that child into the world. Your child is bigger than just their earthly role. Teach them to be inclusive with their thought process. Teach them to be curious instead of judgmental. And most importantly, teach them that even though you are practicing one particular method of living your life, does not mean that that is the only way to do it. So teach your children to be curious about their humanity. Teach your children to be curious about their environment. Teach your children to be inclusive within their environment. And they will then bring this forth into their secondary environment. Thank you for tuning in. I'm clearly stated. This is Vibrating Minds. Until next time.